Hitchcock invented TikTok in 1960, not out of malice. He just understood too well how human attention works. The rest was a matter of time and technology. For 60 years, we've been moving toward algorithms that finally learned to do what he did intuitively, without data centers, be tests, or analysts in hoodies. Take the shower scene from PSYHO. People love to call it a masterpiece of editing, a revolution in suspense, a lesson in film language. That's all true, and at the same time, it misses the mark. Because at its core, it's not high theory. It's a perfectly assembled meme. The first cinematic meme in history. Short, shocking, reproducible, and stuck in your head against your will. The format, about 45 seconds. Not half an hour of build-up. Not a theatrical death, but pure concentrate. Today, that's the perfect length for reels or shorts. Short enough to not let the brain recover. Long enough to leave a trace. Hitchcock didn't know about watch time and retention rates, but he knew one thing for sure. If you don't let the viewer go for a second, they won't escape. Even if they're scared. Especially if they're scared. The sound, a separate blow. Bernard Herrmann's violins aren't just music, they're the first audio meme. Recognizable from the first note. No intros, no build-up, straight to the nerve. Exactly the effect that people chase today when they pick sticky sounds, push them across platforms, and get millions of repeats. The only difference is that Herrmann wasn't writing for an algorithm, but for human physiology. The algorithms just copied them later. The visuals, 52 cuts. The camera barely shows the knife, doesn't show the wounds, doesn't show the act of murder itself. But the brain fills in the gaps. The shot change frequency, roughly every 0.8 seconds, is a direct neural hack. The exact rhythm that TikTok's endless feed trains us for today. You haven't had time to process one thing before the next stimulus hits. Dopamine gets no breaks. Attention can't relax. You're watching not because you want to, but because you're being led. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Hitchcock isn't just scaring, he's training. He's teaching the viewer a new mode of content consumption. Fast, fragmented, emotional. Don't think, react. Don't analyze, flinch. This isn't the degradation of the audience, it's calibration. We didn't become dumber. We were just being prepared for this rhythm a long time ago. Shot content, killing the star. Janet Leigh was the face of the film, the bait, the guarantee. And she's killed 1/3 of the way in. Today, they'd call it a prank, a plot twist, the moment everyone will talk about. Back then, it was a cultural hack, an effect on the level of the death of Jon Snow, just without the internet and spoilers. Hitchcock understood a simple thing. Attention explodes where the contract with the viewer is broken. You thought you knew the rules, but they're gone. It's also important that the scene can be rewatched endlessly. It doesn't lose its power because it works not on plot, but on sensation. Like a meme that's ripped out of context and still understood. That's why it's been quoted, parroted, and remade for 60 years. This isn't respect for a classic. It's the natural replication of a virus. And now, the conclusion that usually makes film scholars cringe. Hitchcock isn't just a genius of suspense. That sounds nice, but it's too safe. He's the genius of an algorithm that didn't exist yet. He understood the mechanics of human attention better than we're willing to admit. Not what scares, but how to hold. Not what the scene is about, but how it spreads inside the head. Social media algorithms didn't invent anything fundamentally new. They just automated the Hitchcockian approach. Short, sharp, recognizable, emotional. The only difference is scale. There, one director in film. Here, billions of screens and machine learning. But the formula is the same. That's why the talk about TikTok ruining our attention looks naive. Attention has always been like this. It's just that few knew how to work with it before. Hitchcock did. The rest only caught up now, with the help of code and servers. The future? It's not about content getting even shorter or louder. It's about us finally realizing the battle isn't for likes, it's for neural reactions. And in that game, Hitchcock is still ahead. We're still learning from a man who made the first viral clip back when the word viral meant something completely different and still hit the target perfectly. Hitchcock invented TikTok in 1960, and we're still scrolling through his legacy.